Never don't dance, we cannot falter in the battle. We're tried and true. Indiana, Indiana, we're all for you.
Welcome to the Indiana Basketball Show on the Grizzly True Sports Network. I'm your co-host, Mike Goodpaster, here as always with 1981 national champion Steve Risley. How you doing today, Riz?
Hey, doing great after another typical boring cookie cutter IU basketball game.
Well, it's a lot different than the boring cookie cutter basketball games we used to get.
Do I sound unhappy about it? I mean, this is like you and I right now are like broadcasting for dummies. It's like any idiot can get up there and talk about the games that we've played so far this season. They've been typical. If you're away, we shoot poorly in the first half from free-point range.
Yeah, but we
We
shot
were
well in the
1 for
second
12
half.
at one point with less than 2 minutes to go. We have 16 free throws and 16 points off of buckets. So thank God we were 16 for 16 in the first half free throw shooting. No very minimal turnovers. We ended up with 11 for the game. I don't want to take away your thunder on the stats, but I mean, this is just such a typical IU basketball game. The bright side was we lost DeVries early in the game with 2 fouls, and the team picked up accordingly. We had four players in double figures that picked up and played well. But it's so atypical or so typical of either a home win or a road victory. In a home win, we don't shoot poorly and from 3-point range in the first half, and we usually build the lead then. In the away games, we shoot poorly and we get adjusted, and we come out and we have a great second half, which is we're done. Let's talk IU football now. There's nothing else to say.
I have some stuff to say.
Okay.
I will tell you this. I think Maryland's a bad team. All right.
Oh yeah, they did not.
They're
look
not
good.
Kentucky. They're not Minnesota. I think Minnesota's a good team. But what I can tell you is this. They shot really bad in the first half. They made free throws, 16 out of 16 to keep control of the game. But the thing I liked about it was this. It was the spacing of the floor. I have not seen this team space the floor as well as they did in that second half. And the thing that impressed me about that is they did it after having a rough first half. If you look back to the Minnesota and Kentucky games, once things went bad, they never could get control again. And the other thing is Maryland, the first half dictated the tempo and the pace. Indiana still had the lead when they did that. The other thing is Indiana out-rebounded Maryland 41-33. They out-rebounded Washington. The thing about that to me is this. I think you found the key to getting rebounds. The key is the spacing on the floor, because if you space the floor the way they did, it makes rebounding not as contingent on how big you are, but it makes it more about attacking the basket from like the backside of the play. Or basically, you could get to the hoop to get the rebound a hell of a lot better than you can when everything's slowed down and you're getting grinded into the ground. This offense spread it out. And I think, Steve, what we saw is the way this team can win rebounding battles. That's by spacing the floor on offense. And when you attack, it's a lot easier than when you're at a slow pace. Everybody's kind of packing down the way we used to under previous regimes. But I think what we saw is the way this team can rebound the ball, and that's just by spreading the court out the way they did.
No, as I was going through the stat sheet, I noted we keep talking about how weak we are inside. Yet, again, we out rebounded them by 8 rebounds. We had points, second champ points. We were better. Points off turnovers, we were better. So, our inside play is sneaky little shits. But I think that what you say about the spacing and about tempo, I credit DeVries and his coaching staff with that.
And it's happened. I mean, the thing is, that week and a half off.
We didn't see this in other regimes. We just never saw this total control of the tempo. And it's like you were watching the start of the game and they were playing with us. They were hitting threes and they were, they were up by 5. I think at one point it was their highest point in the first half. And you're thinking, we're not shooting good. We're 1 for 12 from 3-point range. This is not good. DeVries is out of the game with 2 fouls. Bailey is not giving us anything really again. Noah's not doing much for us. And it's like, we could be in trouble here. And then, but Indiana just stayed with their tempo, stayed with control of the game, kept their spacing. You're right. They run their offense as good as any IU team I've seen since 1981, truthfully. So,
John says, just for the record, Steve, I took Fortran and RPG in the early 80s. I know about card punching and pages of graphs. Mr. GG 1959 says, been a while since Maryland was a good team. Been a while since we've been a good team.
Yeah.
So the thing that I take away from these games, the biggest takeaway, number one, you got a road win.
We're winning.
It was a road win. It was
It's
a road win
win
where they controlled that. But the big thing to me is this. You win national championships in college basketball with backcourt. And if Tatum Connerway and Connor Enright continue to play the way they are,
I know.
This is going to be huge. I mean, Connerway led the way with 13 first half points. His downhill ability to get to the hoop is really good. Connor Enright scored 10 of his season high 16 points, which included a couple of three-pointers in the second half. So it's like they took turns doing this. And Connerway has been extremely impressive. And then Reed Bailey, everybody's favorite punching bag on this team, if there is one to be him, was really good coming off the bench. He shot 4 of 8 from the field. He had a pair of dunks, scored 9 points in 18 minutes. And I think Reed had a huge impact on both sides of the floor in this game, Steve.
No, I agree. I agree. That's why I say our inside play is so sneaky. They're getting the job done. And I think the coaches are really – I'm attributing that back to the coaches and the fundamentals that they're working with. You said you keep that spacing out. Blocking out becomes easier when you just got to take care of your man. Keep your man, your body between you and your man, or keep your body between the man and the bucket is what I'm trying to say. Take care of him and then go get the basketball. And we're really good at doing that. This team does not seem to have any real weakness now. Right now, we only played, 8 guys last night? 7? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, right around that.
8. I think we played 8. Sicily, yeah. Noah Doran got 13 minutes, yeah. So he's got it down to the rotation. I think he plans on using. We talked about how tough it's going to be the next, 6, 7 games. I'm excited because I'm excited to see how well our backcourt stands up against these better teams. I think a lot of teams are looking at Indiana, and I don't know if they fear our backcourt as much as they ought to be fearing it, and they fear our coaching staff as much as they ought to be fearing our coaching staff right now. I think they're going to be in for a little surprise if Indiana can maintain their tempo control, their spacing, and their good shot selection, which they get off of no turnovers and again good tempo. So. Yeah.
And the other thing is this, Steve. I think this team's only going to get better. I don't think Tucker DeVries is going to continue to struggle the way he has lately.
No.
Been in an offensive slump. Still does other things to help the team. But Lamar Wilkerson has continued to elevate his offensive game for Indiana. He had 24 points last night after a slow start in the first half. And the thing that I really like is when he was shooting the ball well, I think his teammates looked for him, they screened for him, and they gave him good opportunities. There was no selfishness on this team at all, which is what I like the most about this team.
Yeah, I was trying to think if I've seen Wilkerson force a shot yet. I don't know that his points come off of opportunities that either are created for him or opportunities he creates for himself. But he will not put up a shot. And you can't say that about previous teams where players just like, my turn to score. That mentality does not exist in this basketball team. It's like, who's open? Let's get it to them, and let's get the easy bucket and get out of here. And the threes they're taking, can't fault 99.9% of them. I don't know that we've really taken a really horrendously bad 3 yet. But Wilkerson, yeah, he takes what you get. He works hard to get himself, make sure he gets a lot. but they're all good opportunities, and he capitalizes at a high percentage on them.
Yeah, Robert Stewart says I can see 4 road wins this year, which is probably about where I was going into yesterday. I think it could be better than that.
Well, we've already got 2, don't we?
We got 1 road win.
Like Maryland's the first road win?
First road win in the Big Ten. The other game was Minnesota, which we lost.
We lost, okay. And we're what, 3-1 in the Big Ten or 2-1?
We've lost how many games in the Big Ten, Steve? Think about it real quick.
1. We've only lost 1.
Have we, Steve? You are correct. But and the thing is this: the next game's against Nebraska, who is one of I think 3 undefeated teams in Big Ten play.
No, that's in Bloomington.
It's in Bloomington, noon on Saturday, and we'll go ahead. And John WW also said he thinks that we finally have the correct leader. I believe he is right. IU Nebraska. Nebraska's undefeated. They're ranked 10th in the country. Who would have ever thought we'd have saw a season where the Indiana Hoosiers are 14-0 in football and Nebraska is 10-0 ranked in the 14-0 ranked in the top 10 in basketball? I mean, this is kind of a role reversal here. And the thing about Nebraska is the non-conference schedule wasn't that good. I don't think people really started to believe, even Nebraska fans, that they were that good until you get the 20-point win over Creighton. But then the thing that really stuck out was beating Michigan State at Nebraska. And then you would think that there would be a drop-off. They played that game last Saturday, and then 2 days later, basically on 1 day's rest, they go to Columbus, Ohio to play a good 10-3 Ohio State team, and they beat Ohio State at Ohio State. I think the pecking order in the Big Ten right now is basically there's 3 top-tier teams, which are Michigan, Purdue, and Nebraska, Steve.
I can't disagree with that,
And that's weird, Steve.
Well, I mean, it's cyclical. Everything's cyclical.
All right. It's not, because if it was cyclical, they'd have been good at basketball before now. We'd have been good at football before now. I think the big thing here is also you've got the 2 best 3-point shooting teams in the Big Ten. Indiana's at number 1. I think they make like 10.7 3-point shots per game. Nebraska makes 10.3 point shots per game. And you've got Rake Mast, who could be an issue. He averages like 28 minutes a game, averages 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, almost a steal a game, half a block shot a game. The other stud here is another forward, which is Price Sanford, who came from, I believe he was in Iowa last year. He averages 16 points a game. And really, they've got some big dudes here. They play usually with 3 forwards and 2 guards. You got Lawrence and Sam Hoiberg as the guards. Hoiberg doesn't score a lot of points, good assist man. Most of these 3-point shots come from Sanford, Mast. These guys can shoot the ball. What do you think about the matchup here, Steve? I mean, it seems like they may be a little bit bigger than us, and this is a team that blew out Wisconsin. They beat Illinois at Illinois by 3 before the Michigan State win. This team's legit. And we're going to find out exactly how much better the Hoosiers have gotten, I think.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, this is but I'm excited about the opportunity to play this team right now. It's going to get a good measure of how much we've improved since Louisville and Kentucky, which, I think Nebraska's better than those 2 teams. Probably better coached for sure. But I'm just interested to see how our inside play does. It's like we played post defense by collective effort. There's not one player that does it, and both Bailey and Sisley and those guys, they get after it. Sisley crashes the boards as hard as any freshman I've seen for that team in a long time. So
I thought you were going to say since 1978.
Oh, yeah. It'd be about right. Well, I don't know.
Oh, wait. No, Woodson wasn't a freshman then. Sorry about that.
I'm done talking about myself in the 81 year. It's over.
That's why I went to 1978. We were trying to keep it fresh.
Okay, there you go. That's a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It doesn't seem that long, Steve. It really doesn't.
What, 50 years? 48
But
years.
it doesn't seem that long ago, Steve. That's all I'm saying.
There's a lot of these kids on this team's parents who aren't 48 years old yet. So.
All right. So if we look at right now, the net rankings. All right. This is why this game is so big, because Nebraska is at number 11 right now. So it's a definite quad one win. When you look at the Big Ten, Michigan's at number 1 in the net rankings. You've got Purdue at 7. You got Illinois at 10, Nebraska at 11, Michigan State at 12, Iowa at 18, coming off the loss to Minnesota. This is I would say the Big Ten's pretty decent at basketball this season, just like they are at football. Indiana right now sits at number 30 in the net rankings, which is not a bad place to be right now, Steve.
No, but this 7-game stretch we talked about pretty much is the season for us right now. We've got to get through this at least 500, I think. We've got to get three or four quad one wins out of this if we can. So, and this
in Ken Palm right now, Indiana's number 24, which is even better than that.
Yeah, it's even better. But any opportunity to beat a team like Nebraska and you get to play them at home, we've got it. We've got to capitalize on that. We've got to try and capitalize on the Purdue game too. That's going to be in Bloomington. So there are just opportunities for these home games. We got to make sure we don't lose the home games, and then hopefully steal 1 or 2 road wins in there again too. So,
yeah, if you look at this, as we said, coming up, you've got Nebraska on Monday. Then you've got next week at Michigan State. Which is going to be a tough
Iowa at home.
Iowa at home. At Michigan.
At Rutgers.
Yeah, that should be a win.
That should be a win.
If you can get the Purdue game and go 4-2 into that West Coast stretch of UCLA and USC, and really, Steve, when I look at this now, I don't see a reason why we can't beat both UCLA and USC. I don't think UCLA is as good as they have been.
Well, the only problem they're going to have is a big party I'm going to take them out on, and we're going to do the TMZ Hollywood tour.
Yeah.
I got a bus all lined up for the team right after practice, before UCLA game. Then we're going to, do.
Yeah, but Steve, it's not like you keep them out too late. You're usually in bed by 9.
Oh, no.
I know. You'll be sitting, dude, if you took them out, what would happen is this. You'd go out and you'd get some food and you'd go back home and watch Desperate Housewives or something.
No, we're going to the Griffith Observatory and look at the stars. It's a pretty cool place.
That sounds like what would have happened when you played.
No, we would have been in the room eating ice cream and bed check at 11.
Yeah. All right, Steve. So what do you think? Do you think Indiana beats Nebraska?
Yeah, we've had bad luck. What's our last 3, 4? Then don't they have like a 4-game winning streak against us?
Who, Nebraska?
Yeah.
We beat them last year pretty bad, I think.
Did we?
Right.
Okay.
But yeah,
sure.
Before that,
you know what? Right now, I don't have any reason to bet against IU at home. I don't have any reason to. I think that there's probably more people in Assembly Hall right now than there were in Maryland Stadium at the end of the game or the middle of the game last night. I had never seen a Big Ten game with that few people at it.
Not unless Northwestern was playing Minnesota at Northwestern back in the early 90s, maybe. When
there was a hurricane, bomb cyclone, whatever thing is going on outside.
Brian Wetters says Kea's whether DeVries can overcome his shooting slump. Right now, hopefully he just overcomes it before Wilkerson goes into one.
I think DeVries comes out and scores 30 against Nebraska.
Oh, hell, Steve. That's a hell of a prediction.
I know. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
He's just going through a little slump. I mean, he's had a lot of pressure on him.
Well, I think the key to this game is Reed Bailey and Trent Sisley. They've got to have good minutes, productive minutes out of them. And you cannot have DeVries get in foul trouble in the first half again, because against a good team, that can be a death knell.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But all right, Steve, you got anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'm not going to bet against IU at this point in time, especially now I'm not going to bet against them in Assembly Hall. I don't know that Nebraska can keep up with IU on the 3-point shooting. I don't know if they can get the tempo wrestled away from IU. Those are going to be keys to the game for me, and the inside play of Bailey and Sisley. definitely are going to be key.
Mr. Gigi says IU would take Nebraska to the woodshed in football right now. Never like the Huskers. Yes, they would. They already did.
God, you don't remember Johnny
Was that last
Rogers?
year? I
Wasn't it
remember all the Nebraska folks.
Yeah, Billy Sims, Johnny Rogers. Bill Sims was Oklahoma.
Yeah, Sims was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Nebraska would have been Mike Rozier, Turner
Don't you
Gill,
remember?
Tommy
I
Frazier.
mean, there was Ohio State, Michigan, Nebraska, Oklahoma.
Yep, they would play on Thanksgiving weekend.
Thanksgiving weekend, the Friday after. All those games were.
Well, it'd be Saturday. You
USC,
also would have UC.
It would end with
UCLA.
USC Notre Dame. Remember? Remember that day? It was
what was every other year for USC Notre Dame, and USC Notre Dame was usually not on that weekend because the weekend where you had Ohio State play Michigan, you would then follow that with Oklahoma, Nebraska, and you'd follow that with the primetime game on ABC of USC and UCLA.
Yeah.
But UCLA's turned to shit, so.
Yeah, both schools are struggling.
But, all right. IU, I was talking about what did it be Nebraska last year, like 56-6 or something, and Nebraska already lost their quarterback, and Nebraska's irrelevant. They're like we were at basketball when Mike Woodson was the coach or Archie Miller.
Oh, come on. Leave Woody alone.
You didn't tell me to leave Miller alone.
Who?
Archie Miller. I said Mike Woodson or Archie Miller. Or any other plethora of coaches we've had in the last 30 years. But, all right, should be
Look
a big
forward.
weekend.
Look to the future.
Big weekend. Indiana plays to get a national championship game in football on Friday night. And then 12 hours after that, Indiana plays number 10, undefeated Nebraska. We got to make sure we beat them to protect the 1976 team, Steve.
Yes, that's up to us.
We might have to beat Michigan, too, to stop it.
That may be hard.
Too. I don't know. They only beat Penn State by 2 the other night, but it wasn't Penn State. They've beaten everybody else by like 100 points. But
I have not directly watched an entire Michigan game, so I don't know how good.
It's hard to because usually they're up 40 at halftime, so it's hard to stay interested.
Yeah.
I watched them play Gonzaga because I thought, well, this will be a close game. I mean, it wasn't.
It
was
not.
An ass whooping. Yeah. I wish Michigan played Kentucky because I like to watch Kentucky get beat by 40. Steve, do you want to go live after the game on Saturday?
After the game live. Man, that's NFL playoffs.
Oh, shit. That's right. All right. We'll come back Monday then, unless you want to go Sunday morning and you don't want to do that.
No, I don't do Sunday morning.
All right. So we'll be back Monday to talk about Indiana getting ready to play the national championship game against Ole Miss on the 19th. And then, of course, we'll talk about the Indiana Hoosiers after they upset Nebraska. I say Indiana beats Nebraska 98-95.
I say it's a little bit more because I think both teams are fairly good at controlling tempo.
But they both want to play fast.
Yeah, but I think they'll being told to slow it down on the opponent because both teams want to play it fast. I think you're going to see a slower tempo in this game.
I know. I think you're going to see two. Well, I would think this. If I'm Indiana, I want this as fast as I can at home. And hopefully I'm hitting my shots.
If I can control the tempo, I want it fast. But I don't want to just in a run. I noticed that last night. We got into just a run and gun game with them. I'm thinking, man, somebody slow this game down a little bit. You guys are just
Maryland slowed it down, Steve. They weren't playing at a fast pace.
Well, they started to for a while.
Then they fell behind, so then they stopped again. But it didn't matter because no matter what they did, the Hoosiers had an answer.
I don't care what the tempo is, but I want to control the tempo.
All right, Robert says Indiana 89, Nebraska 80.
I say the game will be more in the 70s. Indiana by about 5 in the.
Give me an Indiana-Oregon prediction, Robert. Give me an Indiana-Oregon prediction, everybody. What do you think, Steve?
I'm not even saying. I'm not going to jinx this team. I'm just going to go enjoy the game.
Okay. Brian Wetters, Nebraska 90, Indiana 70. And I'm
what? Who?
Brian.
Come on, 90
Brian.
20-point loss.
Come on, Brian. We're going to whip Nebraska's ass.
Hey, mini Christmas. 20 points, Brian. Good golly, Miss Molly.
I think it'll be a close game.
We're not that bad.
No, it's not like Mike Woodson's the coach.
Knock it off.
I didn't say anything that was not true.
Just leave Mike alone.
Well, as long as Nebraska doesn't pick up another Japanese sharpshooter, we'll be fine. All right, guys. Let's see.
You're not going to talk IU football?
Brian says Indiana 32, Oregon 28. I think this. I don't think there's a team in the world that can score 28 points on Indiana, but I don't think Indiana's going to score 32 on Oregon. If you want my actual honest prediction, I think Indiana wins 20-17, and I think the game is complete and utter toss-up. I think these are the two best teams in the country.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a hell of a game. And it's going to come down, as it always does, to who turns the ball over. Because if you remember, the first time the Hoosiers played them, you had to pick 6 by Mendoza that kept that game close at the end. They can't afford to do that again. And I think Oregon defensively is playing much better right now than what they were earlier in the season.
Yeah, they lost their running back, though.
Went in the transfer portal.
No, he broke his clavicle.
Well, they had another one that went in the transfer portal today.
Oh, did they? So he's not playing?
I don't know. It's just what I heard. You never know. You have to verify.
The freshman running back for Oregon broke his clavicle. He's out for
in practice?
Yeah, in practice.
Good for him. That's good.
Yeah, dumbass coach works his guys hard enough, they break a clavicle in practice.
How did he break his clavicle in practice?
I wasn't there. I don't know. I just read it that he's out. He broke his
Did
clavicle.
this happen today or yesterday?
No, I read it a day or two ago.
How the hell did I miss that?
He was some freshman running back who'd been getting a lot of snaps and was up and coming.
All right. Brian says worried about revenge factor on the part of Oregon.
Not with IU, no.
I am not. I'm not worried about it at any time because this is the thing. I played for a while and I coached for a really long time. And I can tell you that any revenge factor, once the ball's kicked off, is pretty much forgotten about.
Forgotten, yeah.
You know, it's just the way it is.
I would agree there.
Playing hard to win the game. It's just like when a coach gives a great, speech to go out to the second half or the start of the game. That stays in a player's mind until the ball's tipped off or kicked off, and then nobody remembers what the hell the coach said.
I think the winner of this game between Iowa or Oregon and Indiana is the team that makes the fewest mistakes.
That's every football game.
Yeah, but it's more so pronounced in this one because I think the score is going to be close.
Well, it'll be close.
This is not. I don't. There's not going to be an Alabama game.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Alabama would be 9th in the Big Ten.
They would have trouble.
Alabama would be struggling with Northwestern in the Big Ten. They would beat the shit out of Purdue, though. I'll give them that. Everybody beats the shit out of Purdue in football.
I think your homeschool, high school, national champion football team might beat the shit out of Purdue.
If you go back to the team I had in 2022, yeah, we'd kick the shit out of them because half those kids were in college playing anyway. So
exactly.
None of them went to Purdue, though. Nobody got that hard up.
But
all right, Steve, make sure you follow us on X at Grueling Truth. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us a 5-star rating. It'll help us out big time. We'd appreciate it if anybody could do that. We will be back Monday at 1 o'clock for the Indiana basketball show. We'll talk a little Hoosier football also. But for now, for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legend